Hello, welcome to even more yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I thought we would get a little bit into the hips and maybe play with a little bit of balancing, just see where the winds take us today. So let's start lying down on our backs, because who doesn't love starting there? However, if you don't want to start on your back, you're welcome to be seated or lying down on your belly even. Some of you might be comfortable being still right away. Some of you might need to iron out a few wrinkles or kinks here. And then maybe the legs are extended, mat width apart, or even wider. Some of you might have the knees bent, in which case bring the feet mat width apart, let the knees hang in toward each other. And that way you don't have to use any muscular activation to keep the knees bent. And a couple gentle breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh the breath away. Yeah, a couple more. And then continue breathing however feels good for you, in and out through your nose or your mouth. Slow and sweet. Nothing to fix or change. You might notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly or chest. The subtle widening of your rib cage with every inhale. Or the increasing weight of the body into the earth with every exhale. And if your knees are bent, start to extend your legs along the floor, and then reach your arms along the floor overhead behind you. And then bring both feet over to the left, both arms over to the left, and you might even hook your right ankle over top of the left ankle. You could grab the right wrist with the left wrist, just finding a long sort of banana shape on the floor here. Getting a little bit more into that right side. We do this standing, but sometimes it's nice to just take the weight of the body out of it. Last breath here. And inhale, back to center, and then reset yourself, maybe starting to take both legs over to the right, and then reach your arms back and over to the right as well. You might hook the left ankle over top of the right ankle. You might grab the left wrist with the right hand. Making this C shape. Last breath here. And then gently release, come back to center, and draw your knees toward you, massaging out the base of the spine and the pelvis. We can rock side to side. Sometimes feels good to draw circles here, maybe both knees going in the same direction as each other or in opposite directions. And if you're drawing circles, make sure that you go the opposite rotation. Last little bit here. Okay. And then bend your knees and then pick your feet up off the floor And then really gentle. It doesn't have to be like a Pilates tabletop position. You know, just press the lower back into the floor so you get a little bit of abdominal activation here, and then reach the arms up to the sky. And the legs could be reaching straight up, or you might have the knees bent. Whatever feels good. You could do a little wiggle or shake. Just get any last little niggles out. Cool. And then really buoyant, really floaty. I just want you to slowly reach the right leg down and away from you, and then exhale back up, and inhale down, and exhale back up. Keep the lower back pressed into the floor the whole time so that you're not losing that activation of the abdominals. And then maybe start to reach the opposite arm back overhead as the leg that's moving. So left leg, right arm, and up. So really just gentle activation of the core. You can make this harder for sure by extending the legs, by not drawing them in so closely. Last couple. And then once you're even on both sides, come back to the center. A little rest. Hug your knees into your chest. And some of you might feel awesome rocking and rolling up and down your spine here. You could go shoulder blades to sit bones, to shoulder blades to sit bones. Maybe it feels better to roll to one side and then press yourself up, but eventually come all the way up and then to hands and knees. I'm not sure what that movement was supposed to demonstrate. Maybe a little somersault. A little draw of belly button to spine. You'll notice that any class I teach, I do cat and cow, but I think it's really quite important for spinal health and loosening up, and you might right away, like I did, start taking other movement here. Otherwise, inhale to dip the belly, and exhale to round through the spine. Couple more breaths here. If the low back is feeling tight today, again in cat, it can feel really good to send the hips back toward the heels a little bit, getting into the low spine, wherever you need to go. And then come back to center. A little draw of belly button to spine. And you're going to start to bend your right elbow and then draw your right shoulder toward your right hip. Maybe looking over that right shoulder, and then inhale back to your center. And then opposite side, left shoulder and hip come toward each other. So a couple more of these lateral flexion and extensions. And then maybe you start to bring that into cat and cow. So looking over the right shoulder, and then dip the belly to the floor, coming into cow, and then back over to the left, and then all the way up to the sky. So starting to do these sort of barrel rolls through the chest and shoulders, and then go the opposite direction, and up, and down. Wait, that was the same direction? I don't know. Just move here, wherever you need to. And come back to center. A little wiggle, a little shake. On your inhale, step forward to the top edge of your mat. Standing forward fold. I'd like you to take your feet a little bit wider today. So maybe mat width apart, and just see how that feels. Right? So not exactly a normal forward fold, not exactly a wide leg forward fold. And these little subtle changes to the way that we stretch, to the way that we release or even activate our muscles can help stimulate an adaptive response quite a bit faster. Last couple breaths here. And then bend your knees. Slowly start to roll up to standing. Whew. Shake it out. Couple loops of the shoulders, up, back, and down. Fix your clothes. I know we always do it. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's get a little bit more into this spinal flexion and extension and sort of play with that curving of the spine. This is going to feel maybe peculiar if you haven't done this before, but it's all good. So I want you to bend your left knee and then stick your hips out to the right. So already this is not something that we would normally do in yoga. Right leg stays straight, and I want you to bend the right elbow, pull the right elbow toward the right hip. So kind of similar to what we were doing in that lateral cat and cow, and reach the left arm up to the sky. So now we've got kind of this S curve in the body. And then inhale, and you're going to switch, bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, bend the left elbow, reach the right arm up overhead, and switch. And then you might switch on every breath. You might take a couple moments in each position. Last couple breaths here. You look up to the sky. Last two. Okay, now take the feet a little bit wider. Feet turned out, so mat width apart, maybe toes off the edge of the feet. Inhale the arms here. And then open the arms up to the sky, out to the side. Bend your knees slowly around forward, hands to the floor or blocks. Inhale, straighten through the legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, come all the way back up to the center. Arms come up through the center as well. All the way up to the sky, straighten the arms. And exhale, burst open. Bend the knees. Roll forward. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, all the way back up through the center. And exhale, open. Last couple like this. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way back up. Last one. Round forward. And bend. Inhale, all the way back up. Watch this. This time, send the weight over to the right leg. Bend both knees. Pick up that left leg. And just play with your balance here. And it might feel like Cirque du Soleil. It might feel like you're in the Matrix. But go wherever you need to go. Last couple breaths here. Left leg stays lifted the whole time. Then inhale, slowly come up to center. Left knee high. Little balance here. Inhale here. And exhale, open to the left. And inhale. And exhale. Last one. And then pause. Coming into tree pose, you might bring the sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh. You might bring the sole of the foot to the knee, to the calf below the knee, not to your knee. Or maybe toes to the floor, sole of the foot to the ankle, or even just toes on top of the opposite foot. So wherever you need to go, except against the knee, right hinge joints shouldn't be pressed sideways. Press your foot into your leg into foot. A little buoyancy on that supporting leg. Belly bend to spine, squeeze the bum. And then maybe reach your branches up to the sky. And then I want you to enforce movement here, right? So trees were meant to sway in the breeze. Go ahead and play with it, right? Again, try to maximize those stabilization muscles, the proprioceptors in the foot. Good, and then reach the right arm up to the sky. Sorry, left arm. Right arm. Left hand comes to the top of the thigh. Inhale here. Exhale, little side bend. Over to the left. So now that C shape through the spine. And then inhale, come back up. Pick up the knee. Exhale, step wide. Feet again. Toes turned out. Inhale, up. Exhale, open the arms. Round forward. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, open. Last time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, all the way back up to the sky, and then send your weight to the left. Start to pick up that right leg. And then balance. Go wherever you need to go. And if you fall out of it, that's okay. I'm sure circus performers fall out of their positions sometimes too. Woo! Funny thing is, if I have something that I can grab onto, my balance is worse than if I'm in the middle of the room and I have to fight for it. And then slowly bring that right knee high. Come to center. Inhale here. Exhale, open. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, pause again. Maybe the foot comes to the upper inner thigh or to the calf below the knee. Toes to the floor. Whoops. Or to the top of the foot. Wherever you need to go. And you don't have to do the same variation on one side that you did on the other. Right? Maybe you have an injury and it doesn't feel good to have such deep flexion on the knee on one side. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. Squeeze the bum. Belly bend to spine. Reach your branches up to the sky. And then roll with the movement. Sway in the breeze. And then reach the left arm up to the sky. Right hand to the thigh. Inhale here. Exhale, little side bend to the right. Inhale, back up to the sky. Exhale, release. A little wiggle, little shake. Couple breaths in the middle, eyes open or closed. Notice whatever you notice. Feel whatever you feel. And then gently flick your eyelids open. Shake it out a little bit. Take that wide stance with your feet again. Not crazy wide, but similar to where we were before. And just go through a little bit of a Tai Chi flow. Very short. Tai Chi, yoga, all of these things come from the same tree. Right? They're just branches off the same philosophical tree. So, little bend in the knees, belly bend to spine. I want you to flip your palms up. And as you inhale, bring the energy, if you will, up to the chest. Exhale, bend your knees, press the palms out to the side. Inhale, palms face up, sweep it all the way up overhead. And then exhale, press the palms all the way down, bend your knees. Inhale, scoop the palms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, palms out, bend your knees. Inhale, all the way up to the sky. And exhale, press down through the center. A few more rounds. Inhale up. Exhale out to the side. Inhale up. You can exhale through the mouth. Exhale down through the middle. Maybe you close your eyes. Last two. And then inhale, back up to the center. Heel and toe the feet together. Couple breaths. Notice whatever you notice. And then back to normal sort of yoga arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, melt, forward fold. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, let it go. Two more. And then bend your knees and sit down. However works for you to do that. A little wiggle of the legs. And then bring your right shin in front of you. Left shin out to the side. So in a 1990 position. Some of you are going to prefer to work a pigeon prep instead. So sweep that left leg back behind you. Otherwise, stay here with me. I like this because that side leg is an internal rotation, whereas this leg is an external rotation. We don't get a lot of this internal stuff in yoga. But anyway, go where you need to go. You might come over top of that shin. You might come over top of the thigh, getting into the glutes, the butt on the right leg. Some of you might lift that left sit bone a little bit and come into a twist. So wherever you need to go, few breaths. And then once you find somewhere that feels good for you, pause there. You could bring something underneath your head. If you don't have any props, sometimes I like just bringing my hands into prayer and then resting my forehead on my thumbs. And slow the breath right down. Last couple breaths here. And slowly, gently press yourself back up to center. Sweep the left leg forward. And then right shin out to the side. Little wiggle again if you like to work pigeon prep. And sweep that right leg back behind you. And then get curious again. You might not end up in the same place on this side that you did on the first side. All right, so go where you need to go. Prop yourself up however you need to, whatever feels good. And then once you've found somewhere that works for you, slow the breath down, slow the mind down. If your eyes are open, can you find a single point of focus on the floor and try to keep them on that single point for as long as you can? It is said that a very good level of concentration is to keep the eyes still for about 10 seconds. Last couple breaths here. And slowly on your inhale, press yourself back up. Rather than sweeping your legs in front though, come down to your side, sweep your legs behind you, come onto your belly. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side once you get there. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor so much so that you feel your kneecaps lift away. Try to have your head on the floor. I'm not doing it just so I don't muffle the mic. So press the tops of the feet into the floor. Send your tailbone to the back wall. You'll feel your belly button engaged toward your spine. And then as you inhale, reach the head, the chest forward to lift up. Keep the back of the neck long, so you're looking down rather than forward. Arms reach back behind you. Some of you might stay here. Some of you might de-weight your legs. Reach them further back. You might clasp your hands behind your back if you'd like more of a chest opening. Maybe you inhale, lift everything up a little bit higher. And exhale, release all the way down. One cheek to the floor. Deep belly breaths to release through the lower back. And then roll over to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Little rock from side to side. And then gently plant your feet to the floor. Hip width apart, parallel-ish, and close enough into your bum that you can graze your heels with your fingertips. And this will set your ankles up underneath your knees and become a really strong, stable position. Belly button to spine. And then inhale, slowly peel the pelvis and spine up and away into bridge. You might stay here. Some of you might choose to walk onto the outside edge of the shoulders. Maybe you clasp your hands behind your back. You might bend the elbows and use the heel of the hand to lift the hips up higher. Some of you might choose to go into wheel. So wherever you need to go, a few more breaths. One more inhale. One sweet exhale. And release your shoulders if they're bound. Slowly roll down to the floor and pause, maybe in stillness for a couple breaths. Draw your knees toward your chest, little rock from side to side. And right arm out to the side. Maybe shift your hips right a little bit to start with. Exhale, lower the knees to the left. As gentle or as deep of a twist as you need, you can bring that left hand to the right thigh for a little bit of traction. Also helps keep that leg from drifting away from you. You might look along the right arm. Just a couple breaths in this twist. And then inhale back to center, reset your spine, your pelvis. Maybe shift the hips left. Exhale, knees to the right. And maybe you look along the left arm. As gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. You could always bring a block between your knees or underneath the bottom one. Maybe you add that little bit of weight of the right hand onto the top of the left thigh. And slowly inhale back to center. If there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, please feel free to go there. Otherwise, think about where you'd like to go, whether it's just here, flat on your back, legs bent or straight. Maybe you rest on your side or in child's pose, or legs up the wall, wherever you need to go. There's certainly no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. 2 more. And continue breathing without any breath control. Notice if you're gripping anywhere in the body. If there's any muscular tension, can you let go? Stay here for 5 or 10 minutes if you can. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.